guys, as you already know, Sonic Frontiers was pretty much well received by the fan base of Sonic fans, even though critics were not fully sold on it, depending on which platform you look at, I guess, because I think a few consoles gave it the green score of 75, and the rest were below that. But nonetheless, that means that Sonic fans are eagerly waiting for what's next, aka Frontiers 2, but more importantly, the Sonic Frontiers DLC, as that is coming this year in the form of 3 waves. So naturally, Director Morio Kishimoto is getting bombarded with tweets and questions, and Kishimoto is surprisingly still answering them. He must not be sick of this. He must have the time of day to be responding to the shit. And he's been saying some shit that really makes me not want to dislike it. I mean, I don't dislike Kishimoto as a person or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, in terms of some of his gaming philosophies, he's saying some things that sound good to those of us who grew up in the adventure era. So we're gonna get to all this right now. But if you subscribe to the channel already, please make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. And of course, we just hit 68,000 subscribers. So thank you for the support. But let's get into this. We're going to start with the light news. And then we'll get into the big shit. Okay, so you can see here, someone asks, "Hey Daddy Kish, I hope you're doing well. I have a question about homing dash. Was it a mechanic you knew didn't exist until you saw someone else doing it? Or was it on purpose? Also, what's your favorite cyberspace track?" Daddy Kish responds, "Hello, I knew about the homing dash during production, but I didn't make it intentionally, but I left it as a technique. This decision was made of the idea that, just like the Hadou Shoryuken in Street Fighter 2, one day you'll find yourself having more fun with it." Was he trying to say that the Shoryuken was, like, not intended? Really? I don't know. I'm not a Street Fighter expert, although I did grow up with Alpha 3, but I'm not a fighting game expert. For those of you who don't know what the homing dash is, well, clearly that means you have an S-Rank Sky Sanctuary Act 1-2 or whatever the fuck. Well, actually, no, you can S-Rank 1-2 without doing the homing dash. Just to put that, it's just a lot harder. But if you wanted to S-Rank it fast and not spend ages on it, you probably just had to figure out what the homing dash was. But yes, the homing dash is the move where you're about to do a homing attack, then you press the boost button, and then you fly. You see people doing it all the time. And yes, clearly it was a glitch. But when they noticed that exploit was there or whatever, they said, we'll leave it in as a little strat, and I'm glad they did leave it in because it makes the cyberspace a little bit more enjoyable as opposed to the way it was initially, which is not that enjoyable. And obviously, this guy also asked him your favorite cyberspace track, and Kishimoto just aired that part, just decided not to respond because I guess he figured the cyberspace tracks were mid. I don't know. Like, I mean, okay, to be fair, I did a live stream over here ranking the cyberspace music as well as the Forces music, so you can check that out if you want. And I came to the conclusion that, well, there was one cyberspace song in S tier, so you can watch that stream if you care about that thing. But anyway, we got new shit to talk about, okay? Here, someone asked Kishimoto, "Hello, quick question. Will you be getting more playable characters in future titles? I miss Blaze and Espio." And I definitely miss Blaze. It says, "Hello, as you say, the next step for the 3rd generation is to increase the number of playable characters." So yes, they're basically saying, because he's talking about future titles, they're basically saying for the next Sonic game, we could be seeing multiple playable characters finally become a thing. Kishimoto is tired of the only characters being playable being Sonic, Yaka, Drill, Cube, Hover, etc, etc. And he's like, we want some actual, real characters, you know? I'm glad Kishimoto's finally doing this because, well, he commenced the era where we stopped seeing multiple playable characters. I mean, I guess Unleashed was just Sonic, but I mean, the Werehog is considered a different character, you know? But, yeah. If Kishimoto can finally bring that shit back, I'm definitely looking forward to that, okay? But it's a bit ambiguous because he could also be talking about the DLC. Even though this tweet talks about future titles, he goes into more detail in another tweet, which is why we need to get into that as well. It says here, and that's a tweet from December, but it says here, this person responds in 25th January. It says, "Is it true that future Sonic games will experiment with boosts, spin dashes, and change the level design to a playstyle close to Sonic Adventure?" And that's referring to a previous video I did before where it says Kishimoto was considering abandoning the boost for Frontiers and might even consider it for the next game. So this referencing those tweets that were made in the past. And Kishimoto responds to this, this is a very important one. He says, "The future, the very near future, I can't wait until the next work. We have already started experimenting. The results of that experiment should be shown to everyone at some point in the 3rd update. Please look forward to it." So this is very interesting, alright? Because he's basically saying, Frontiers 2? Implement spin dash level design close to adventure? Like, we doing that shit this year, nigga. Like, we're about to get into that shit. So, I don't know if he's referring to every single thing here, because he said spin dash, level design close to adventure. That's like 2 separate things, right? But he's basically just responded to the whole tweet and said he's doing it in the 3rd update. So he's experimenting. The results will be there. If you remember the DLC, we got update 1 probably coming somewhere in Q1. Update 2 most likely coming in June, because that's the birthday one. And update 3 probably going to be later in the year, around November, which has the playable characters and new story. So I don't know if he's going to do it for Sonic or it's going to be one of the other playable character situation, because he's talking about the next step is to increase the number of playable characters. So we're obviously expecting like Tails, Knuckles, and Amy to have some kind of playable gameplay here. So it's very possible that that spin dash gameplay might even go to one of these characters. I don't know. Like that more adventure style gameplay at least might go to one of these characters. Like maybe Knuckles will be slower, maybe Amy will be slower and not have the boost or something like that. And Tails really shouldn't have a boost, because Tails boosting just feels weird. I mean, he can already fly, he's already OP. Giving him a boost is just ridiculous. You know, so I'm guessing we could be seeing some kind of unique abilities for these characters, and they might tweak the speed and those kind of values depending on which character you're playing as. And if each character's got their own little side campaign, something flight heavy for Tails with the platforming would be really fun. Something like climbing heavy for Knuckles, even though Sonic can climb in this game, so it wouldn't really be that unique. Maybe he drills underground instead of using a wisp. That would be nice, Kishimoto. And Amy, some kind of hammer-related combat ability that makes her combat a bit more OP because she's got the hammer or something like that. Or maybe that move that she's got in SA1 where she like runs and then she hits the hammer and she flies into the air. That could be fun to see something like that, because that was a goated move in SA1 for the record. Amy's story in SA1 is slept on. I think Amy's gameplay in SA1 was solid. People said it was too slow. I disagree. I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if it was 5 to 10% faster, but I don't think it was too slow. You know, I think Amy's gameplay in SA1 was pretty solid, and I've said this before, but the only gameplay style in SA1 that I didn't care about was really big. All the other 5 stories were fun, in my opinion, but that's just how I feel. But Kishimoto seems very keen on experimenting with this adventure-ish kind of gameplay. Maybe they are planning some kind of adventure-style game in the future, and they're trying to like get all their practice in with Frontiers so that the adventure-style game could be better. Don't call it Adventure 3 though, you're not going to live up to that. People's expectations of what SA3 is like 50 different things depending on who you ask, and even SA1 and 2 are so fundamentally different from each other that people can't even decide which one is better, even though the correct answer is SA1 is better than SA2. But nonetheless, let me know what you guys think about all of this. Kishimoto seems very eager to make these changes. He left the home and the dash in as a strat, and I can't wait to see what this DLC brings, especially Update 3 at the end of this year. I'm really looking forward to that. But yes, Update 1 and 2, they look interesting too. But I want to see what these new challenge modes are on Update 1. But Update 3, that's going to be the biggie, okay? That's going to be the biggie. So let me know what you guys think about that. And of course, a big shout out to all the channel members. If you want to become a channel member, you can click the join button next to the subscribe button. Be make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Make sure to check out the non-Sonic channel. The link will be in the description. But that's all I have to say right now. So, Premy out.